to Prime Sports Media, baby. Prime Sports Media, baby. I welcome everybody into the chat. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Welcome to Prime Sports Media, baby. That's right. Prime Sports Media, baby. That's right. Tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Tell the truth. Welcome to the Prime Sports Media, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right.
Tell the truth.
Normal Music.
Prime Sports Media, baby. That's right. Prime Sports Media, baby. Welcome. Late night show. I think I'm going to be doing some of these I kind of like these late night shows. I'll probably be doing most of the late night shows on Monday nights. But I'm doing this one because of the breaking news. Now, I want to say something. I want to appreciate everybody that's in the chat room that's coming on board into the room. I want to say something because I'm a man. I'm a person that when someone's right, I can stand as a man and say, hey, I stand corrected. Now, yesterday when I went live and we were talking about the situation with the running back Hayden that we got from Ohio State who's transferring. And, of course, unfortunately, we lost Alton McCaskill. But I was very excited about our pickup that we got in Hayden. And then someone said in the chat room last night, hey, Prime Sports Media, information man, Dylan Edwards. Dylan Edwards is going to leave, man. And I was like, wait a minute. I didn't know whether to believe this because we already lost Alton McCaskill. We've already lost Kamani McLean to wanting to leave. And I hadn't heard any legitimate sources that being Dylan Edwards was leaving. And I got to be honest with y'all, I'm disappointed about him leaving. I really am. Because of these reasons right here. If you really do a deep dive into the situation, you would know that the new offensive coordinator, Pat Schumer, he had big plans. They said that they believed or they felt that Dylan Edwards would be a big part of their plans for this upcoming season, you see. Because of his versatility, his ability in terms of catching the ball out of the backfield, you can line him up. He showed flashes of greatness in the game against TCU. And I'm disappointed to see the young man go. I thought he had great potential. I did not feel that he was always used in the way that he should have been used, in terms of he's not a power back. He's not a guy that you want him running up the middle as if he's a power back. He doesn't have the beef for that. But if you can get him on the outside, the corner sides, you can get him out in the flats, have him catch the ball, line him up, do like a McCaffrey type thing with him. He could be very dangerous, as he was against TCU. Remember this? Can you all remember this right here, the celebration? Remember that? What happened on that day? Remember, Dylan Edwards had 159 yards for a total of 4 TDs. He went off that day. He went silly that day, okay? I remember it well. You remember it well. It was very exciting. This is the thing that's disappointing about it, is that you got to realize that Dylan Edwards was really the best back they had in terms of full production just a year ago. Dylan Edwards, the team's leading rusher in 2023, ladies and gentlemen. He set the entire transfer portal due to transportal sources. Remember, I said yesterday, I want to hear from the big sources if it was true. And I got to say that those that came in the chat room yesterday, it was true that he indeed is deciding to go into the transfer portal. Let me go here and put this source up right here. Sources: Colorado running back Dylan Edwards to transfer. Colorado is continuing to go through a shifting and change in their rosters. Dylan Edwards, the team leading rusher in 2023, as I was saying before, is set to enter the transfer portal, sources told ESPN on Tuesday. That's the day, or for some of you, it might be already Wednesday, depending on what area code or what East Coast, South, wherever you are, time zone. I'm in the West Coast. Edwards ranked number 140 in the 2023 ESPN 300 recruiting class, should I say. He made an immediate impact on the team last year in that TCU game. He showed flashes. He's versatile. He recorded 135 receiving yards and 3 TDs, both single-game school records. So we're losing a young man who set a single school record, receiving for 135 yards receiving, a school record for a running back in a season opener against TCU. He was sensational against TCU. So sensational, do y'all remember when he did this? He started the first 4 games of the 2023 season and finished with 321 yards rushing and a TD, while adding 36 receptions for 299 yards and 4 touchdowns, y'all. His decision to enter the portal comes after Colorado added running back transfer Dylan Hayden, who I did a story on yesterday, a solid contributor for Ohio State in 2022 before redshirting last fall. Colorado recently lost Alton McCaskill. I spoke about him in an all-conference selection early in his career at Houston. They lost him to the portal, as you already know. Check this out. I want to add something so that people won't say something that is not true. And that is Dylan Edwards made a statement where he recently told reporters, everybody, that he expected to be used more as a pass catcher in the coordinator's offense, Pat Shermer. In his offense, Colorado concluded spring practice and is getting ready for their annual black and gold spring game, ladies and gentlemen, which will be on April the 27th. We won't have this young man, unfortunately, for that. I think Dylan Edwards leaving this program, some people are gonna tell you, oh, this isn't a big blow to the team, or it's no big deal. I think it's a big deal basically because of the fact that he, like I thought Alton McCaskill would do, he opens up their offense in terms of how they can use him in the running game. His ability to, he's probably the most speedy running back they have on the team. So they just lost a running back that gives them a speed burst. And a guy that, I'm going to say it again, a guy that they can line in today's college football, which is really a passing game. It pays to have running backs that can catch the ball and you can line them up and they can go deep and they have the speed to beat linebackers. A guy that you have to account for on the field because of, you saw what he did last year against TCU. So this is something that happens in college football now. Players are going to leave. For whatever reason they're going to leave. They could be leaving because they don't like the situation for them. They could be leaving because they don't like competition. They could be leaving because they're homesick and they want to go back closer to home. And remember, Dylan Edwards is from Kansas. And there was rumors that, originally when Coach Prime was able to get him to come to CU, he was considering going to Notre Dame. That's the school that he was really touted to play for. So maybe he's going to go to, there was talk about, Kansas, Jayhawks, Kansas State, Kansas. He's from Kansas. He had a relationship with Coach Prime because of being a part of Coach Prime's academy. Coach Prime has coached him since he was a young man, a young kid. So I think on some personal level, this is a hard one because of the relationship he has with Coach Prime. And we really, for the most part, a lot of people liked him. We liked him as fans of the sport, of the game. We witnessed what he did in games when he was given opportunities and put in the right situations. The young man still has a lot of great potential. You don't just go into a college football game and get 4 TDs. Remember, he got these 4 TDs in that game, receiving, and I think he got 1 rushing yard. And he has said and put out there that they were planning to make him a focal point in the offense this year under Pat Schumer's style of offense that he was going to run. So I take this as I think this is bad. To me, it's bad news that he's leaving. When it was told, when people were in the chat room and made mention that he might be leaving, I didn't want to believe it. I'm just going to keep it real with you as my audience, and I appreciate you all out there. Give you a clap. I didn't want to believe it simply because I hadn't had a chance to see any proof that this was happening. I thought it was just rumor. And then when you start looking into it deeply, ESPN put out an article about it. Other publication, I think the Buffs put out And that's in Colorado, their own publications. Versatile. I'm going to read the headlines. Versatile running back Dylan Edwards enters the transfer portal on the 8th day of the spring window. Edwards instead decided to enter the transfer portal. Dylan Edwards was expected to be an important piece of the Colorado offense attack in the fall, given his speed, as I said before, his versatility. But Dylan Edwards instead decided that he wanted to enter the transfer portal. Edwards scored 4 TDs in his first collegiate games. I said that before, last fall in Colorado's upset victory. Edwards had team high 321 rushing yards on 76 carries and averaged of 4.2 yards per attempt. He also had 36 catches for 299 yards. I mentioned that before. Just want to emphasize that. He is from Kansas, as I said before. His father, Leonard Edwards, played collegiately for the Wildcats. Now, just to let you know, Colorado has a young high school prospect who is a freshman, true freshman, spring standout. Micah Welsh is the remaining, and I'm not happy about this. He's the remaining scholarship running back on Colorado's current roster. And then, of course, hopefully they've got Hayden coming in, so they basically got 2 backs right now. That doesn't look good. We got to be honest, everybody. I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit up here and try to make excuses. They got only 2 backs on the team, but they do got some prospects, some guys that are coming in over this weekend. Buffaloes are also recruiting a Miami of Ohio transfer. I think his name is Rashid, Rashad Amos. If I'm saying that correct, who rushed for 1,075 yards and 13 TDs last season. He committed to Mississippi State as a transfer, but is expected to visit Boulder this upcoming weekend. This is Rashid, Rashad. He's a running back who's coming in to visit. And remember, as I said yesterday, we've got Hayden that's coming in. And he grades out of an 80.70 over 250 offensive snaps at Ohio State in 2022. He's got a 72.4 over 60 offensive snaps in 4 contests in 2023. He has 3 to play 3 remaining with his eligibility. So he's got 3 more years to play 3 more seasons of college football. So we've got that young man coming in who comes to us with some really good experience playing at Ohio State. We got Michael Welch, who's young, but is going to have to learn the college game. So we basically have a young man. I got to be honest, folks. We have a young man in Hayden who's been injured, and now he's healthy and ready to play this year. We have a second back in Micah Welch, who's fresh out of high school, but he looks good. I did a video on him. He looks good. He looks like he can run with power. He also looks like he has that same skill set where he can run inside and outside and catch the ball as well. So I'm looking for great things out of Michael Welch, the freshman recruit that Coach Prime was able to bring in. But let's be honest. Let's not sit up here and deny the truth that CU is going to need to bring in some other backs. They're going to have to get that running back room. It's going to have to be fortified quickly. And hopefully, I think last night someone said there's some recruits coming from Mississippi. Well, wait a minute. That might have been the Ole Miss. There's Mississippi State, and then they said last night, when I was live last night, that there's some guys from Mississippi or Ole Miss that are coming in. So hopefully the transfer portal, as we're losing players like Dylan Edwards. And let me give you a reminder of the young man's skill set that I thought was impressive. This is a quick clip of Dylan Edwards in practice. This is why I hate to see him go, because you saw what he did, what he was doing in practice, his abilities, and we know he can do it in the game when he's given great opportunities and he's in the right position and he's being utilized correctly. Check this out, y'all. Check out this quick clip. Check this out. Let's check it out again. So you see, he's got some skills. We witnessed this in practice. We witnessed flashes of greatness in the actual games last year. And I was looking forward to seeing his growth, his development, his maturity. I'm pretty sure he got a little bit stronger and got his body a little bit more stronger. And I was looking forward to that. So I got to be honest. I'm going to say it again. I think them losing Dylan Edwards, to me, I don't know how you all feel. I'm going to be looking at your comments in the chat room very soon. I personally feel that because of the relationship he has with Coach Prime and what he showed flashes of in last season, I personally think that it was a hard loss for the team. And so I hope they're able to bounce back and get at least a few more backs in that room to be ready for the season. I just hope that, hopefully there's some guys out there who have some talent that are seeing what's happening at CU and saying, wait a minute, I can be a part of that running back room. I can get in there and show them what I can do. I can definitely turn some things out here. Another issue that I want to bring up, and you probably already see him to the right of me, that's Sy'veon Wilkerson, who's also decided to jump into the transfer portal. I'm not happy about the brother leaving because Sy'veon, as I have said before on previous shows, what he brought to the table, and thank you, Big Worm 28. Peace to you, my brother. Peace to everybody in the chat room. We go Bucks is in here. Portal is wow. It's a wow situation. I like Dylan, but that was defensive secondary team. Yeah, they got to get that defense together. But here is Sy'veon Wilkerson, who he gave them power when he would run the ball. He was more of what we would call a power type back, right? And just so you know that it was legitimate that he's leaving, this was a clip from the Buffs. The Buffs beat Colorado. Syveon Wilkinson enters the transfer portal. The Buffs rusher originally followed Coach Prime from Jackson State. That's true. He was at Jackson State, and here's a picture of him at Jackson State right there before making his move to CU, and you see him there in the uniform there. And here is Sy'veon right here. I didn't like to see him go because, once again, he adds depth to the running game, and he also adds a young man that can definitely, run some power back type stuff. Now, check this out. A mass exodus for CU. Buffalo turns another corner on Tuesday. Former Jackson State transfer Sy'veon Wilkinson announced he would be entering the portal for a third time. This new news comes after Deion Sanders and the Buffs have lost 22 players over the past week. Sy'veon came to Boulder as one of Prime's original players from Jackson State. The 5'9", 210-pound stocky running back played in 13 games for the Tigers in 2022 with 227 carries for 1,152 rushing yards and 9 TDs. You remember, Sy'veon was an all-conference purpose running back in the HBCU ranks of college football, y'all. Let's keep that in mind. He did not have as much success at CU, but saw time in 11 games with 241 yards, all-purpose yards, and 3 TDs. This is the thing. This is where I'm concerned about CU. Last year, in my mind, I felt that they had the running backs to have an effective running game. But their running game was not effective. However, because they were always playing from behind and Shedeur was holding on the ball longer than because he had to do what? He had a bad offensive line. They were always playing behind the chains, which means the receivers, I'm going to repeat this again to all of you. People kept saying, oh, he's holding on to the ball too long. You don't understand football. He was holding on to the ball too long because, one, his offensive line wasn't always giving him the best situations to be in terms of they were always playing behind the chains. What do I mean by they're playing behind the chains? They're playing 2nd and 15, 3rd and 15. Okay, they're 2nd and 12 instead of playing 2nd and 5, right? Third down and 7. So that means if they're playing from behind and they're not generating any run because the offensive line is not opening up any holes for the running backs, then they're getting behind in the game where teams are scoring on them, and now they're behind by 1, 2, 3 touchdowns. Now, to get back in the game, they have to abandon the running game because running game eats up clock because they got to score quickly. Now Shedeur is in situations where he's throwing the ball in deep situations where receivers like a Travis Hunter have to run deeper past the chains to get the first down, which means if the receivers are in deeper routes, therefore Shedeur has to hold on to the ball like this a lot longer, which opened him up to being sacked because the offensive line, and if I'm telling the truth, if I'm making any sense to you, put 7s in the chat room, because the offensive line could not give him proper blocking when he had to hold on to the ball to wait for his receivers to get into their deep routes because they were playing so far behind the chains that it takes longer for the receivers to open up their routes for him to get the ball to them. And now he's got pressure coming at him because the offensive line was not efficient as they needed to be. Y'all get what I'm saying here? If what I'm saying makes any sense, put 7s in the chat room. You have the right to your opinions, your thoughts. I'm just bringing this up. It's something that was a factor that we have to consider. Thank you, Peggy Roster. Kat's in the house. Alicia's in the house. Ken James in the house. Michelle puts a 7. That was one of the things that they were going through. So, unfortunately, someone like an Alton McCaskill, even Dylan Edwards, as you witnessed as the season went on, as well as someone like Sy'veon, these guys really didn't probably get the carries that they should have gotten, that they could have shown more of their skill set when they were running behind a offensive line that just wasn't cutting it. And they weren't being utilized because, as I said before, Shedeur was often having to throw the ball more than running the ball because they're playing from behind. And so this year, they're going to have to utilize a better running game. They're going to have to be committed to the run, stay with it, be consistent, because that will help Shedeur and the team tremendously in this Big 12 matchups that they're going to be having this year. So I really hate to see Sy'veon, because Sy'veon has been with Coach Prime, like I said, going all the way back to the Jackson State days. You see him with the Jackson State uniform. And once again, I didn't want to believe any of this, but, the media has put it out there. It's official. He's leaving, and Dylan Edwards is leaving, which I'm not happy about that. But I'm going to say I wish both these young men nothing but success and their families that have success. And yeah, that's how I feel about it. To the folks in the chat room, what's going on, Uncle Larry? Xavier Wolf, I see you. Warren, I see you in there. James, I see you in there too, saying good evening to everybody. I want to say this to everybody that was here last night who said, hey, information man, he's leaving. And to the people who left those comments saying, hey, looks like he's leaving, you're going to see it tomorrow. I want to say you were correct. You were talking facts. You were on top of the reporting. You knew what you were talking about. And I just had to have it clarified when I saw the mainstream news talking about this. And then you even had the Buffs Beat, their own publication in Colorado, confirm it as well. Let me say this. Coach Prime is a stand-up guy. I'm going to tell you why. He's stand-up. This is what he had to say when he found out that Sy'veon was leaving. This is off of his own Twitter, y'all. Check this out. This is Coach Prime's Twitter. And you can tell when he wrote this, he put at Sy'veon Wilkinson to make sure that he was able to read his tweet. And Coach Prime says, I love you, and I wish you the absolute best. If you need me, you know I got you. And tell your mama I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss her in the family. God bless. That's what Coach Prime said. You see Coach Prime right there. That's what he left the young man. And, you know, so I'm saying this to show that why people will hate and say, well, Coach Prime is losing players, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's because they don't like him, blah, 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 blah. He still shows respect to the players that played for him by leaving them a very, I think, humble message and what have you. Like I said, there could be a variety of reasons why they decided to leave. Maybe they don't see their role in the offense that Pat Shurmur wants to run as being something that fits their style. They have, once again, this is college football. We're dealing with young men. They have the right to make the decisions that they want. I'm going to say this again. All college football teams this year are losing some players off their team. And then they're also potentially going to gain players as long as this transfer portal is open. So we're going to see if the young man, I think his name is Rashid from, what was it? What did I say? Mississippi State. He was thinking about going to Mississippi State as a transfer portal, but now he's taking a visit to CU this weekend, and maybe Coach Prime will make a good impression on this young man, and we'll learn more about him. So we'll see if he commits. I'll do a video about this young man or any of these running backs that commit to CU to play. I will do a video and give you that video update as well. So I really appreciate you all being here tonight and supporting the channel as you're doing. I want to say once again, thank you for watching tonight. I want to say like and comment when you get a chance on this video, and definitely subscribe to the channel. Let me see what you're saying in the comment section of the video. Let me put these comments up and get your perspective. We've got Go Buck says, some may say good players leave because better players are coming. Okay. Let me see. We got Out of My Mind says we need some of those big offensive linemen. Well, we got one in the young man Peyton Kirkland. He's 6'6", 350 pounds. I talked about him yesterday. There are some bigger guys on this offensive line. And let me see what this brother is saying right here. We got Fairley says, what does everyone act like? No college team has players entering. Right, my brother. Right, I give you a clap. Right. You are absolutely 110% orange juice correct, my brother. There's other teams that are losing players. See, the reason why they're focusing everything on Prime because of who he is, his pedigree, his background, and the fact that Coach Prime speaks his mind. He's confident. Some people want to call him cocky. And so because it's Coach Prime, they're gonna zero in on anything that appears to look negative, anything that they can look at and say, "Oh, this is a negative." Like even though I think losing Dylan Edwards is not a good thing in my opinion, sir, I still know that it ain't the end of the world. It's not like there's not going to be any other good backs that's going to be coming in, right? They got Michael Welch. He's the freshman. They say he's looking good. You've got Hayden, who's got a great pedigree. So you got two backs, but they do need to fill that running back room up. And hopefully the transfer portal is going to bless them. And of course, once again, Shallow and Shador have players in their DMs. Remember, Coach Prime talked about that they've got guys in the DMs that they're telling, hey, come on over and play, right? Got Travis Hunter right there, but there is Shador. He's saying, hey, I got people in my DMs. The players are your best recruiters. The players on the team, like a Shador, like a Travis Hunter, they're your best recruiters. Because they're on there, they can talk to the young people out there, right? Right? Is that right?
Tell the truth.
I mean, I just want to say, you're right, sir. It is not the end of the world. The world is just beginning. Let's go ahead and read some more comments. He says, right. Thank you again. Malcolm is in the house, and Malcolm says this, but if we get Rashid almost, that'll be 2 upgrades at running back with him and Hayden. Exactly. Now, I didn't get a chance to do some study on the young man that's coming in this weekend. I'm going to do some I got to do some research on him, deeper research. And if he decides to commit to CU, I'll be doing a video on that young man. We're going to do some video study on him. Okay? That's very important. Let's see this right here. Ken James says, I understand Edwards was a fan favorite, but besides the first game against TCU, who had no tape on CU, he didn't really make an impact. Right, but did he really? Let me just ask this question of you, James. We got to be fair here. Yes, he made an impact against TCU and they didn't have tape on him. I get it. But why did he make an impact? Because they gave him the ball and put him in situations to be successful. Right? But then if you look at the rest of the season, there were times when he was running up the middle. He ain't a power back. He's not built for that, right? But there were times he didn't get a chance to put up more numbers because they weren't really, CU was not 100% committed to the running game. Even Coach Prime told us in press conferences that how can we can't run if there's other things not working right. And they're playing from behind. So I got to be fair to Dylan Edwards. How do you expect Dylan Edwards to do the things that you want to see him do more of? I got to be honest, James. How can we expect to see him do more things that you want to see him do if he's not getting the ball enough, if they're not putting him in situations to be successful in terms of running him the proper way? If the team was always playing from behind where they have to put up points to score fast, like I said earlier, they had to throw the ball more. Therefore, they deviated slowly away from the running game. Therefore, Dylan Edwards was not in a situation to put up any more numbers as they begin to play the better teams in the Pac-12, and it got much, much more deeper and difficult. We got to be honest. That offensive line, you couldn't run with that offensive line. I could. Hell, a snail couldn't put up 1,000-yard season with that offensive line as bad as it was last year. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's go into some more statements here. We got Malcolm Miro said they're saying K-State offered Dylan a nice bag to come home. Right. That's another factor. You got this NIL money that can cause young men to also leave. So there's another factor here. It ain't always that it's not always that they don't like the coach or the scheme or the team. It could be this NIL money that's luring kids away from certain schools. You just said it. You just said it that allegedly, if it's true that K-State offered him a bigger bag. So then these kids are going to be leaving schools chasing the bigger bag, potentially, if that's the situation. Let's go to Little Kate. He says, this brother says, Dylan had one great game. His skill set is a slot receiver. What CU done is got your more traditional running back right and almost is a beast. If I'm saying that name right, Rashid is his name. He's a beast. I hope they get the beast. Okay. And as soon as I end this stream tonight, I'm gonna do some Googling on that young man and do a video on him. I hope he takes the program by storm. We got PGH Big Dog. What's going on, Big Dog? Still shocked by Dylan Edwards leaving. He must be getting the bag. Right. The bag. He's getting a bag. He's getting a bag, y'all. Let's just be honest. He's probably just getting a bag. He's getting a bag. Okay. Hey, let's be honest. We would probably leave for the bag too if we had, let's go back up here and read what DS is saying here. DS says Colorado needs to get rid of Coach Prime's sons. Shallow is 24 years old and is hanging around college football, bullying 18 and 19-year-olds. Shallow Sanders is a graduate student, sir. He graduated with honors from Jackson State. He still had 2 more years of eligibility when he went into the transfer portal, which is why he's got another year with the team. And when he entered and transferred to CU, he's a graduate student there. So you're talking about a young man who's taking graduate school classes because he graduated from CU. He graduated from Jackson State. And I believe he's taking graduate classes and that's a difficult university. So I would be careful in talking about he's just hanging around college football to beat up on 18-year-olds when the man he had 2 years of eligibility when he went there. He's in the last year of his eligibility, and he's a graduate student. Come on, man. There's plenty of guys in college football who are graduate students who are maybe a little bit older that are still playing college football. You can only play if you got, and if he has eligibility, why would he leave? They already said that they were staying for the 2 years at CU before they try to go to the NFL, sir. Let's just keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying. No disrespect to you. God loves. God helps us. I ran out of gas with my daughter hours ago. I'm serious. I have no family left. I just lost my mom. This is a call police. I don't know what this is about, but let's move on from that. What's good, people? Hey, what's going on, Brian Prince. Brian Prince, we just talking about the unfortunate situation that we lost Dylan Edwards and Sy'veon has decided to jump. Both of them have decided to jump into the transfer portal.
Oh, my God.
And oh, my God. Okay. But this is the way football is today. Please do not solicit for money in the chat. Do not do that. That's troll. When you do something like that, you're trolling. You're trolling when you do that. Don't come in the chat and say you need money and you're going, first of all, we don't know who you are, or we don't even know if your situation is legitimate. You just come in the chat and then you put your Cash App in there. Do not do that. Block that out of there. Don't do that. That's very, I don't know your story. If you're going through some hard times, I apologize if you're actually going through some hard times, but you don't come into a person's chat room when they're doing a stream and start putting your Cash App in there and saying, hey, I got this, give me some money. We don't know you. Or maybe the people in the, I don't know. Let me go here. Let me see. Diaz said this, but Shallow is 24, too old for college football. Yeah, I mean, at 24, technically he should be in the NFL by now. He should be in the NFL. And Alicia says exactly. Yeah, I have to admit, at that age, technically he should be playing in the NFL with grown men. I get that point there. Believe me. But he does have a year of eligibility that he chose to use. Brian Prince says, just heard something on that. I seen a running back from OSU coming in to show what he has. Oh, from Oklahoma State University? Because hey, Brian Prince, we got Hayden. That's the brother that came over from Ohio State, the Ohio State, right? He's coming in. There's some talk about this guy named Rashid who was thinking about going to Mississippi State. And it looks like Rashid is coming to visit CU this weekend. They say he's a beast of a running back. What do you know about him, brother? I got to get out of my mind. Shallow is 2 years older than Shador. Yeah, because I think Shallow is the oldest brother. No. Shallow's the third oldest. We know that Deion Sanders Jr. is the oldest, and then Shallow would be the next oldest. You're right, because it's 3 sons, right? Let me see what Kelly Harris says here. Welcome to the program. COVID extended college eligibility. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Let me give you a clap. Kelly Harris, thank you for saying that. That's something that I think we did not take in consideration here. And another thing we got to take in consideration, see, you just helped me remember something. You do know that Shallow was held back a grade when he was a kid. That Coach Prime, when he was living with Coach Prime, for whatever the reasons are, and I'm not going to get into it, he was made to repeat a grade again. So you got to keep that in mind. You got to keep the fact that he was made to repeat a grade when he was a kid. And then Kelly Harris comes in and says this: COVID extended the college eligibility. There are college players who are 28, 29, and 30, and etc. Thank you. Because you reminded us of something that is the truth and that is reality, that the COVID situation changed everything in our country and in our world. You're right. And keep in mind that Shallow repeated a grade when he was a kid, an adolescent. How many of you all remember that? We got Mike in here who says, I tried to get a refund on my Edwards jersey today.
Oh my God.
I tried to get a refund on my Edwards jersey today. Didn't happen, but the girl gave me a Nebraska Huskies magnet for my troubles. We got Crafting retired with Boss Lady merch. Shallow's not leaving Shador. They are like the song Twin, where it have to be. Yeah. And remember, Coach Prime has already said this, ladies and gentlemen, that they're both planning to come out together. That was always the goal for both of them to go into the NFL draft in 2025 together. That was always the dream. So let's keep that in mind as well, folks. Let me see. Who else? Did I miss anybody? Let me see. DS said this. Shallow is exposed to be a elite player, being coach. Prime son at 24 years old. He's not elite at all, but hanging on to his daddy. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, their own facts, but I don't know. I'm not going to get into any personal family dynamics that I don't know anything about. I'm not going to go there. Coach Jive is about to high step out of Boulder and Coach Jive. See, look at this. And blame everyone except him and his sons. Okay. Oh, my goodness. And out of my mind makes another statement here that adds to the whole situation. We forgot something else. Thank you, out of my mind. Thank you for educating us too as well. Shallow had a tore ACL, which meant he probably was redshirted. Because remember when they came from Jackson State, he got hurt. Tell me if I'm correct or wrong. Didn't he get that injury when he was at Jackson State? As a result, didn't he get like a red shirt or something of that nature, which is why he was able to come to CU with 2 years more eligibility? So tell me if I'm wrong or right about that. Did he get an injury red shirt year for that? See? So now these are the elements that play into why Shallow is 24 and has been playing college football for quite some time now. This could be an element. Peggy Roster comes in and she says, I agree, out of mind. Right. Out of mind made a great point there. Out of mind says this, keep it about sports. Yeah, everybody that I've been saying this, out of mind, thank you for saying that. I've been saying this for a while, out of mind, that we need people to just stick to football. The personal stuff is not necessary, okay? If you don't like Coach Prime, that's your business. If you don't like him, hey, everyone has a right to feel how they feel. But we're trying to keep a positive vibe over here, not a negative vibe and what have you. Everybody has, everyone has a right to their opinions, right? But come on now. The man has only been at CU for 1 year. They're getting ready to go into a second year, and you're already talking about, let's show him the door. Come on. We got Ill Cat. Says, Shallow led the team last year in tackles and 6 picks. Right. Thank you. And if I'm not mistaken, brother, he was one of the top safeties in the Pac-12 last year. He put up some numbers. I'm not saying he was the best safety in the Pac-12, but he was in those rankings as a top-tier player in the Pac-12. Why can't we focus? They got a new season coming up, in the Big 12. Okay, y'all? Why can't we focus on what they have at hand in the Big 12? Right there. You see the numbers right there, the Big 12, right? Why can't we focus on the fact that they got a whole nother season coming up in the Big 12? They got a whole different schedule. There go the schedule right there. Y'all see it? Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
They got a whole different schedule that they're going to be dealing with. And the schedule is not as grueling as the schedule they had last year when they were playing in the Pac-12. Steve says 30-plus players have already left. He says crime time. See, people want to make smart statements. Bobby Kendrick, he played with a broken finger too. Yeah. But see, this is the thing. People who don't understand these things are probably people who've never played organized sports, whether it be high school, college, or any of this shit. Let's go back in here and Ill Cat. I hope I'm saying that correct. Ill Cat Entertainment. I think is that what that ENT stands for, brother? Ill Cat Entertainment. That's a pretty cool name. So I'm gonna make sure I'm saying it correct because I think I was saying it wrong. He says that's correct. He was number 2 in the pack. I'm gonna give you Ill Cat. You know what? You getting modded up. You getting modded up. Ill Cat, you getting modded up. Here we go, man. And somebody else getting modded up in there too. That's making lots of sense. Hang on for a minute. And where is Out of My Mind? You made good points. Here you go. I am going to be looking for more mods on the channel. And I'm looking at, I see people who come over here pretty consistently and support the channel. So I will be looking for more mods on the channel. Go Bucks. Shallow was 15. Let me put this up. Shallow was, you getting ready to get modded up too. Go Bucks says Shallow was 15th in leading tackles in the Pac-12. That's not bad. There's a lot of players in the Pac-12. So you about to get modded up too, because you all are making sense. And I know that you have been following the channel for quite some time. Now let me go up here and I want to see what Ed in Houston has to say. He says, Prime upping the ante. There are always casualties of war. Yes. Ed in Houston, thank you. Thank you, brother, for coming in and making a very true statement. Very true statement. There's always, I'm going to say this again. We got to sit back and I say this last year, take the emotions out of this whole situation with CU. Take the emotions out, use logic, and use football thinking. If you use football thinking, that means what? Every team in college football, whether it be the ACC, the SEC, the Pac, well, there ain't no more Pac-12 now, unfortunately. The Big 10, the Big 12, American Conference, whatever the hell they call that. Every team is losing a good player, losing players that they really don't care that they're losing because maybe these are guys that really weren't that big of contributors. Every team is losing something. This is not just Coach Prime. But because of who he is and his reputation, everything is being magnified. And then I'm gonna mod up my other man right here. You're getting modded up because I know you as well. There we go. Boom. PGH Big Dog. You're modded up now. Let me go to here and see what C Nasty has to say. C Nasty says Dylan is garbage anyhow. Oh, wow. Speed killers, yet he's not someone who breaks tackles often. One hitter quitter. Well, I mentioned that he's not a power back. And so they were often trying to use him like a power back, which was a mistake. So I just got to say this to you, Nasty. I'm not getting into emotions here. Let's get into logic. He's a slot back. He's a guy that you can line up in the slot. He's a guy you can put him out in the flats. I've been saying this. He's a guy that you want him to run to the corners. You want him to run and you want to put him in screen plays. You want to run screen plays for him. You want to get him open in open space and get the ball in his hands in open space. You want to do what they do in San Francisco with the 49ers where they have Debo running around. You know, you want to get him in open space and running through the open space holes, right? What they did with Dylan last year is that there were times when they were trying to force the action by trying to get him to run up the middle. That's not his fault. That's not his game. So, of course, when you say he's not a up the middle back, that's never was his game in the first place. His game was finesse, which is why when he was playing that finesse game, right, when he was celebrating in that game against TCU like that, right, and it allowed him to do what? 159 yards total yards, 4 TDs. He also had 135 yards receiving in a game as well. Receiving. He made a school record. So when they used him against TCU, when he put up those numbers and he got 135 yards receiving, it's because if you notice against TCU, one, they didn't know who he was. They didn't have a scouting book on him. But two, Coach Prime and the offensive under Sean Kelly, or Sean Lewis, let me correct it, Sean Lewis, because Kelly was the defensive coordinator. Under Sean Lewis last year, Sean Lewis didn't know how to use him properly. They used him properly in the opening game against TCU. Everything you saw in that TCU game is how Dylan Edwards should have been used going forward. And they got, in my opinion, it appeared like they got away from using him like that enough because they were always playing from behind and Shedeur was not getting enough protection. Therefore, he had to hold on to the ball longer because the receivers had to run deeper routes to get open, which made him more susceptible to being sacked because the offensive line was not doing a great job at holding up. And they were always in bad down situations, okay? That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
And I mentioned that earlier in this stream tonight. Let's go over here and look at some more statements from people before I end the podcast tonight. Out of My Mind says Sean Lewis and Coach Flea mismanaged their players. Once again, coaching, I do think there were some coaching problems last year. I do think, and I'm glad personally that Sean Lewis is not the offensive coordinator because remember, I never believed that Sean Lewis made the proper adjustments to protect Shedeur when things were breaking down around him. Brian Johnson says this, I think the problem with CU is some of their position coaches, I think Flea and Hart, are weak links. Very fair, sir. Very fair. Very fair comments. Go Buck says, must have been Steve. It's why all NFL players call Deion the GOAT. Okay, let's go over to PGH Big Dog says, running Edwards up the middle was a bad move strategy. Yeah, right. Ed in Houston says, poor kid, only Barry Sanders or Sweetness, right, Sweetness, okay, in Chicago, who also played at Jackson State, could have sustained somewhat positive yards on the ground game with last year's offensive line. Your facts. And Houston, you're going to end up getting yourself a mod on this channel, brother, because you're coming in here with facts. So that's why, to me, this is where I disagree with the other person in the chat room who came in and said that Dylan Edwards was garbage. No, Dylan Edwards is not garbage. He didn't have an offensive line that was opening up the holes for him, but he's not an up the middle running back. Okay, just keep that in mind. That offensive line was not great at all, and Ed Houston is telling the truth. Only Barry Sanders or Sweetness or someone of that nature could run behind that offensive line. And Dylan Edwards was fresh out of high school. He's not at that development yet. He's not at that development, and his body is not at that size that it needs to be in development to be able to handle pounding the ball up the middle with him. And that was, I think, a mistake that they made. So, Ed, you made a good point, brother. You made a good point. And that's what I mean. I like when people just come in and make logical points, not the emotional stuff. Let me see. VM says, funny, Dylan Pops. Let me see. Dylan's Pops broke Barry's record in high school. What? Dylan Pops broke Barry's record in high school. Wow. Wow. That's interesting. Let me see. Stardust DNA. Offensive coordinator created the offensive scheme just for Dylan this season. He was defensive. He definitely going to play with the new improved offensive line. Yeah, I said that earlier in the podcast tonight that Dylan Edwards himself had told reporters, okay? He had made mention to reporters himself that he was looking forward to how Pat Schumer was going to use him, that he was very excited about how he was going to use him. And from all accounts, if I'm not mistaken, I thought I was hearing that he was looking good in the spring practices, that he was looking good, that he was popping and what have you. I mean, I don't know what happened between him playing well in spring practice, being told that he was going to be utilized in the offense very, very much so, to him deciding that he wanted to leave. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I need someone to tell me, am I going crazy here? Oh, my God. Am I going crazy here?
God.
We got Sports Fan Addict Sports Network. Here you go. Let me see my man Ed. Let me see. Ed, I'm about to mod you up, brother. I need logical people on this channel, like yourself and many others in there possibly, that are making sense over here, making sense with real football talk. And Mr. Brian Johnson, I'll be checking you out too as well. You came in and made a good point. The Fan Atlantic Sports Network, I want to mod you up as well on the channel, because we're going to do big things with this channel this upcoming season. I'm going to keep putting out the content, getting the channel back into the algorithms. I am going to have panels to let people come up so we can hear directly from you in a panel discussion. Matter of fact, I'm seriously considering this upcoming, this weekend that they're going to have the April 27th. I'm seriously considering having a panel discussion as it relates to the spring game. After that spring game is over, I'm considering going live and opening up the channel to a panel of people who would like to just talk Coach Prime, talk to players, talk college football overall. I think that'd be great. Let me see what you're saying right here. Malcolm says it's a serious because Shador and Travis unfollowed. Wait a minute, Malcolm, are you giving us a breaking news right now? Is this breaking news?
Tell the truth.
Malcolm Murray in the chat room said that it's serious because Shador and Travis have unfollowed. When you say unfollowed, unfollowed who? Unfollowed who? Malcolm Murray says that Shador and Travis have unfollowed Dylan on IG and threw shots on Twitter. What? Are you right about that?
Oh my God.
Let's not speculate. Is that proof? If I was to go on X or Twitter right now, can I dig that? Matter of fact, if I go to their Twitter line right now, their Instagram, should I say, are you telling me that that's facts? Are you willing to say that that's facts?
Oh my God.
Anybody else in the chat room, have you seen that yourself? We got D. We got D Squad in the house saying unfollow Dylan. Everyone say, if it's true, I want you to do this. If it's true, put sevens in the chat room. If it's true, say something in the chat room before I end this podcast. I've got to end this podcast pretty soon. It's kind of getting late where I'm at. I know it's late where you are too. We got, he says they got running backs coming in supposedly. Shirley is coming in and she puts a 7. What's going on,
BS3 Network.
Shirley, I'm going to mod you up. I'm going to mod you up, Shirley. And I want to say thank you. I'm going to give you a clap. Shirley, you're getting modded up on the channel because you've been consistently following and supporting the Prime Sports Media channel.
Tell the truth.
Let me see here. So she says standard. Everybody's putting 7s. We got Stardust puts a 7. PGHB Dog puts a 7. So you guys have seen this. So you saying that the situation is serious because they have unfollowed him. We're saying, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I got to say this, everybody. I got to say this because we're on social media. It has been alleged that, because I want to be right here. It has been alleged tonight that, let me put it up here, that Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders have unfollowed. Wow. Dylan Edwards. So people are saying that whatever the situation is, it's pretty serious. And I wonder what was going on behind the scene. I just wonder, everybody. I just wonder if that's correct. What everyone is saying, it's disappointing. It's disappointing that these young men are it's disappointing if that's the case, if that's true. Ed in Houston says, I heard the same. We've got Bumps is in the house, says, yo, East Texas tapping in. Salute. What's going on? What's going on, East Texas, my brother? Bump, thank you for coming over. Bump TY5X. So the Fanatic Sports Network is saying the same thing, that this is what's been put out there. So I'm sure all of you have gone on the Twitter, the X, whatever we call it, and you have seen it for yourself, the situation. We got Miss Frat, who says it was all about the bag. Wow. Wow. I'm learning a lot from everybody tonight. Everybody, I'm going to I'm going to have to do more of these late night streams, maybe like a Monday night. Every Monday night I'll go late. These late night streams are good because I'm able to really hear from the people, and that's most important. We got D Squad saying here, allegedly Dylan may have made a call to Shedeur to let him know he was out. So people are speculating that Dylan received an NIL deal. Well, we'll find out if he's got an NIL deal because it'll be publicly published out there for us. But either way, I wanted to see the young man stay here. And let me see what we got going on here. We've got Brian Johnson, who says it has been reported on other podcasts that they unfollowed him. Also, I heard Shallow too. Wow. Thank you, sir.
Tell the truth.
Thank you, Mr. Brian Johnson, for coming in with that statement. We got Ill Cat Entertainment, who says Texas star cornerback is in the transfer portal, may be coming to see you. I got to look into that. You say, let me write that down. You say Texas star cornerback is thinking about coming over to see you. I got to look at that. Hey, make sure, another thing I want to tell you, everybody in the chat room, if you ever find out something that you need me to know, man, you can leave it. You can leave a comment in the comment section. You can also email me at the Prime Sports Media email address. You can send me. Matter of fact, I think I'll give you one better. You can DM me at the Prime Sports Media Instagram. I have an Instagram. So if y'all want to follow me on Instagram, you can do that. And you can DM me anytime you hear anything like what you're saying just a few minutes ago, okay? Any information that you hear about, like a Texas star cornerback getting ready to come to see you, you can send it there. Also, I want to tell everybody, make sure you follow the channel on the Prime Sports Media Facebook page. We got about 83,000 people following on the Facebook page. The Facebook page, I'm able to drop all types of video content that you guys are going to love over there. All types of memes, video content, everything. I dropped the YouTube videos over there, but I put other stuff on the Prime Sports Media Facebook page, y'all. Also, before I go further, you can check out the audio podcast. I think tomorrow I will be recording live an audio podcast that's on Spreaker. It's on Spotify. You can hear it on Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the podcasting platforms, Spotify. You'll see the Spotify link. The audio portion of my podcast is not the video portion. So I'm not repeating the videos that I put out on the channel. I'm talking about something else related to CU and the players, and I'll be putting lots of nice sound bites in the podcast. So the podcast will be radio style and we'll be talking about something totally different about the team, the players, another perspective. Okay, that's the audio podcast. You can see that, hear that live on Spreaker right here, or you can listen to it on the Spotify. Make sure that if you want more videos like this tonight, live streams and such, hit the bell of notification, subscribe to the channel.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to
Subscribe to the channel, the Prime Sports Media channel, y'all. Let's go in here. I want to say once again, like and comment on this video when you get a chance. Subscribe to the channel again. Thank you for watching tonight. This has been great. Let's go in here. Somebody else left a message. Let me look at some more of these messages before I end the pod tonight. Okay, brother Ed Houston says Travis did say they were recruiting running backs on the latest well-off media video from Deion Jr. He said it in just, but he did say it. It's just, but he did say it. That's right. New sub. Thank you, my sister. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Thank you, sister, for that subscribership. I appreciate you for that. And thank you. Welcome to the family over here. She's a new sub. Mrs. Frat is over here. And you're going to like the way I do my lives. I do it professionally. I give you great overlays, great content, great perspective. And I think you guys are going to love it. And I'm going to keep this grind going. Now, most of the time, you're going to see me do uploaded videos, which I'm going to try to make those short so that you can get into the videos and get out of them very quickly. And then I think every now and then I'm going to be going live on a Sunday, maybe a Saturday I'll go live. And I definitely am considering about doing Monday night, late night show. Because these late night shows seem like they be popping. Seem like they popping as well. But I think if I go live on Sunday, I went live on Sunday and I had about almost 700 of you guys in the chat room, ladies and men. So definitely that's peak time, going live at that peak time on a Sunday. But let me go back in the chat room and look at what you all are saying here. Ill Cat Entertainment says that cornerback is a 5-star prospect out of high school. Also, running back from LSU is a 5-star recruit out of high school. I hope they come on over and join the team. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. I might have missed somebody. Mr. Brian Johnson says Dylan leaving, I truly believe, is a bag was thrown at him. Other programs want Coach Prime to fail. Oh, yeah. I do believe that there are other programs that want him to fail. We got Alicia in here. Alicia, good to see you over here tonight. She says, oh, yeah, I remember. And then let me go. We got Sean. Let me see. We got Sean in the house. Sean Kenneth, who says, letting Dylan go. What the media ponder have been saying about Deion. Letting Dylan go. What are you saying? That it certifies what the media's been saying? I mean, there could be a bunch of reasons why the young man is going. So, you know, I'm just going to stay positive. We're dealing with 18-year-old, 19-year-olds, and 20-year-old kids. They're going to change their mind at any time, okay? If they don't like, the main thing is, look, we know what time it is. A lot of these young men are going to college. They're playing football. They want to get to the NFL. And if they think that there's something that's going to be in the way of them getting some shine to stand out for the NFL scouts, they're going to leave. And so we know that these young men are they're leaving for all kind of reasons. They could be missing their home. They could have second thoughts. They may not like the scheme. They might not be getting along with it could be anything. May not be getting along with the coaches. They might not like competition. They see other running backs coming in, other players coming in, and they may say, hey, where do I fit on the team? It could be a variety of reasons why. We're dealing with 18-year-old, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds who don't have fully developed brains. So they're going to make decisions. They're going to sometimes be impulsive with the decisions that they make. Got to keep that in mind. Let me see. We got a good sister that just came in. She says they are following the bag for themselves. Okay, good point.
Tell the truth.
Yeah. Sister Armstead, you may be on to something, sister. You may be on to something. I mean, a lot of people are saying that in the chat room. You're not the only one. Miss Frat says, first people have to understand what portal means and does. These kids are chasing money for a short period of time and not chasing greatness. Ooh, that's a powerful statement you said that before. Alicia says, good to see you too. And I was referring to how many people were in the live tonight. Yeah, these night shows are popping. So I'm considering, Alicia, maybe doing a night show on a Monday night and do a night show when a big story hits, right? This was a big story. So I said, hey, let me go live tonight. And yeah, these night shows, they popping too. I know a lot of people probably in the bed like snoring right now. They'll watch this on the replay when they wake up tomorrow. Let me see what my man, Stardust says that he agrees with Sister Homestack. The NIL or playing position, right? Playing position, NIL. Let me see. Ed said this. From now on, the bag is always going to be the factor. The old ways are gone. It's about the bag. Even for Prime, that's just what it is now. Yeah, you're right. It is about the bag. However, I got a feeling that the NCAA is going to make some changes to this stuff, especially if these kids are running for bags and not running for academics and, playing at a great program. We got Sister Miles in here who says, happy unback. Happy. Hey, I'm glad you're back on the channel. But let me see. Miss Frat says this. The portal is the reason Nick Saban retired. Yeah, Nick Saban, I guess, he saw the writing on the walls, right? He saw the writing on the walls. And let me go to this person right here comment. This is Good Bodies. He says, God body right. The CU staff need to be careful calling transfer players scared because the Buffs have built their whole roster from transfers that left. Well, that's true. Coach Prime. But see, the reason why Coach Prime had to do that because he took over a CU program that was in the dumps with players that were there that had a lot of issues. Remember, he had to get rid of some folks that weren't serious. So, it's a lot of different reasons. Let's go to Mrs. Armstead again and see what she's saying. Armstead says, Armstead says, at the end, this is Miss Armstead saying, at the end of the day, people are making the best decisions for themselves. That's why they bounce like a basketball. They have all time opportunities. You're right. You're right. We're not going to argue that because you're absolutely right. Let's see what Miss Miles is saying now. I hope these kids are being advised on how to invest. Yeah, right. And another thing I got to put out here that people need to recognize, just because these kids jump in the transfer portal doesn't mean a team's going to pick them up. I think Coach Prime has said that. Just because these kids, I'm going to say it again, are jumping into the transfer portal doesn't mean that every team is going to take them if they don't think that those kids fit into their team, their scheme. So there is some chances that people are taking. Dylan was 5'4". They were tackling him with one arm. We will be okay. Okay. Cat Entertainment says CU's got better in all these other areas. Concerns with electric or elite offense, 11-1 in second season. Interesting. And Ed Houston says, I heard rumors of consideration for a 2-year commitment for NIL moving forward in the future. That's interesting. Good point. That's interesting, Houston. Brother Houston, Ed Houston, that's very interesting that you bring that up. That's very interesting. Let me read this one right here. Terrence Jones Sr. says, I think there will be no players development unless it is at the high school level. Players are not stable enough to get valuable experience. You're right. I agree. Go Buck says players love shallow, and that's what matters. Malcolm Murray says that's why Travis and Shador is upset. Watch the latest well-off Travis saying he's recruiting running backs. Yeah, I read that earlier today. And let me put this in here. Says here, Ms. Fratt says, Ed, it needs to be because the parents are chasing the dream through their kids. Yeah. Very good points. Very good points. And Mr. Brian Johnson says there are a lot of players that get stuck in the portal. Over 1,000 players were not in a program. Wait a minute, let me read this again. Now you really are talking some stuff, Mr. Jones. And as a result, I'm still looking for more mods in the future. But Mr. Jones, I'm going to mod you up because I like mature people who know how to have these conversations, and we're learning from each other. Mr. Brian Jones, welcome to the mod group. And I'll be looking for other people in the near future to be modded up because we get these trolls that come in here. You know how that is. Mr. Brian Johnson says there are a lot of players that get stuck in the portal. Over thousands of players were not in a program. That's a damn, let me say this. It's a damn shame.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So, like Coach Prime said, not every young man is going to get picked up. We got DS who says this. Believe me, shallow is a problem in the locker room. that Deion will not address history speaks for itself. Well, right now we haven't heard anything about that, sir. And I'm going to keep it positive over here right now. Right, it's 2,200 players. Let me see. Ill Cat Entertainment says, right, it's 2,200 players in the portal right now. Right. Not everyone's going to another team. Right. Some of these kids are going to get a rude awakening. And when it happens, they're going to wish they wish they never left the team that they were on. Go Buck says there will be a 2K portal when season starts. We got Roxy Morris, who says next year will be different. NIL, they better enjoy it for now. I would agree with that. I would agree with what you just said. Now, as we get ready to end the program tonight, I want to remind you of something. Let me pull this video up for you all to hear Coach Prime's words on this issue. It's just a short little clip. I'm sure you all will recognize the clip. And here we go.
But we can those type of players, but I don't think we're losing those type of players. And if we do, we're good. We're good. We're making a big deal out of that.
Let's hear it again.
Okay. As always, Deion exudes confidence.
But we can attract those type of players, but I don't think we're losing those type of players. And if we do, we're good. We're good. We're making a big deal out of that.
Well, okay. As always,
we're good. We're making a big deal out of that.
All right.
well, okay. As always, Deion exudes confidence.
I wanted to play that because at the end, Coach Prime said, stop making a big deal over nothing. We're good. Everything's going to be okay. But I have to be honest. I am going to be watching the running back room very closely. They need to get a few more running backs in because they're down to 2 running backs. One on scholarship, which is Micah Welch, the freshman running back. And they got Hayden, who just came over from Ohio State. They just lost Alton McCaskill, who's now in the transfer portal. And, of course, Dylan Edwards. And once again, if you have not heard, Sy'veon is leaving as well. This man right here who played for Coach Prime, Sy'veon Wilkinson, who played with him at Jackson State, is now deciding that he is jumped into the transfer portal. And this was reported in the Buffs Beat. Colorado Sy'veon Wilkinson enters the transfer portal. Originally followed Coach Prime from Jackson State. He's gone. With that said, everybody, I've got to get out of here. It's getting late for me, for you. Everybody sleep well. Tell someone that you love them. And guess what? We're going to be back with more content. Everybody, I really appreciate you for coming over and being a part of what we're doing over here. And we're getting this channel popping and rocking over here, everybody. Right. That's right. With that said, y'all take care. Peace. Peace.
Whole lot of pirates, looking for high risk, searching for idols, Sy'veon iris. No fooling a giant, feel the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Nah, never really had enough, you can never really have enough. I've been searching my soul, looking for diamonds and gold, thinking how far does it go? Can I buy love at a store? Really, how much are they running me for? They're conning for more, look, I can see the greed in their eyes now, trying to show the teeth when they lie, but I would never lie down. Enemies on the line now, gotta get the high ground. Take a step and get sniped down. Who's got the highest price? Who's got got the ruby eye? You know everyone has a price. Who's got the sharpest knife? Picking at diamond mines, keep a short leash on them dogs. On my goonies, they never die. My Valentines follow the dollar signs, hard to not compromise. When you never had shit to begin with, picking up tricks in your interest. Rather get rich in the trenches. Man, I'm talking big business, where the morals are smaller than inches. Get hip to the system or sleep with the fishes. Outsmart the vindictive, don't become a whole lot of pirates. Looking for high risk, searching for idols. Sy'veon Iris, no fooling the giant. For the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough. You can never really have enough. Nah, never really had enough. You can never really have enough.
That's why you gotta look for yourself. Do not live your life on another man's word. Open up these books for yourself. You will get shook by the truth too. Start to see crooks by the buku. Connections unseen like the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi. Found facts that I can't deny. I had to change my eye, which is a fancy way of saying nigga switch perspective. No auto-tune, found my pitch perfected. Figured why a nigga felt so disconnected. Introspective questions answered with deflections. In the mirror, no reflections. Was severely misdirected. And then that shit gets dismissed from recollection when I'm sky high. We can shoot the breeze, no drive-by. I be Drew Brees with the knowledge I've arrived by. Kobe see some shooter, keep it Raja. Bear with me, bear with me, grow with me, share with me.
A whole lot of pirates, looking for high risk. Searching for idols, Sy'veon Iris. No fooling the giant, for the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Nah, never really had enough. You can never really have enough.
Listening to Prime Sports Media tonight. Thank you, everybody. It's been great.
Tell the truth.
You've been listening to the Prime Sports Media.
Yeah, baby.
Tell the truth.